Do you want to know something that makes my skin crawl? It's just like one of those I don't know, it's kind of like a pet peeve. And I'm not going to say I hate it, but when I tell you I highly dislike when people do this. Oh my gosh. So I highly dislike when people post on their social media or post on their story and it's kind of funny and ironic too. And they say, "Oh, I'm moving in silence," or they say, "I'm going ghost on everybody," or they say, "Oh, I'm taking a break from social media." Like they'll post and they say that. That right there, in my opinion, is an example of oversharing. It wasn't necessary for you to post that and say that. You posted that, whether you agree or not, but you posted that for some type of attention. You're wanting some type of validation or something from someone when you post stuff like that. Because why not just start moving in silence without announcing it? Why not just take a break from social media without announcing it? Why not just go ghost, quote unquote, without announcing it? You're announcing it because you are seeking attention, and it's not necessarily something that you want to do. You don't want to move in silence. You don't ache to move in silence. You don't ache to get off social media, but you ache for attention from people for whatever reason. That's what that is. That makes my skin crawl. That's a perfect example of oversharing. But before we dig into the topic, let me stop being rude and introduce myself. My name is Mercedes. Welcome to the LVME Unbrkn podcast. This is where we swallow the big pills, not the little ones. I felt so intrigued to speak about this topic because it's just been something that I've been seeing from so many different people on social media. And I'm like, I just feel like that was just too much. Like, that wasn't something worth saying. So let's talk about oversharing and how it can negatively affect you. Before we get into that, let's talk about why people overshare. And I just kind of gave you a brief example of why they overshare, but we'll get into the nitty gritty. People tend to overshare because they are either seeking validation from other people, they're seeking acceptance from other people, they're seeking attention, and it's likely people that don't give a single care about what you have going on, or they don't even care about your well-being, but for some reason you're seeking attention from this person or from these people. Another reason that people tend to overshare is sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's not even intentional, but if you find yourself very excited about something or anxious about something and you just need someone to talk to, you'll jump into a conversation with someone and literally talk their ears off and not even realize you are saying way too much. Like, you have given out way too much information. I have experienced this from people. And what's so crazy is I've experienced this from people that I don't even know from a can of paint. I have no idea who these people are. It'll be like a random conversation that I'll have when I'm in Target with somebody. They'll come up, they'll probably compliment my dress or compliment my shoes or my makeup or whatever I have on. I don't know. They'll compliment something, and then all of a sudden the conversation just goes from there. And for some reason, they get to talking and they have told me their whole family tree. That's an issue. Some people tend to overshare because they are lonely. And I know this is a very hard pill to swallow for some of you because you might not want to admit this, but you could possibly be lonely. You could also be insecure. So you will overshare with someone in hopes of them, in hope that they accept you. Now I want to point something out because vulnerability is also a hot topic these days in our society, within this generation. Vulnerability is just like a big thing. And there's a very fine line between vulnerability and oversharing. Being vulnerable is you being open with people with healthy boundaries in place. You're being open with people with good intentions. And it's more of the positive aspect. Being vulnerable help you get close to people and make people or yourself feel comfortable around you or just with you. And that's okay. It's a good thing. Vulnerability is more of the positive aspect. And it helps you strengthen your relationships. Oversharing, on the other hand, it kind of overwhelms your relationships. Maybe you're just one of those people that complain about everything in life. Nothing's going your way. You are upset about this, that, and the third. Every time someone sees you, they're hearing something negative from you. Maybe you're one of those people. I hope not. But maybe you are. When you start talking to people and having conversations with them, you begin to overshare and it begins to overwhelm the relationship. So now when they see you coming, they don't even want to talk to you. They see you coming, they are not happy. They are not intrigued by your presence. That's what oversharing can do to a relationship or, a friendship, whatever the case may be, whatever the dynamic is, it doesn't matter. But that's the negative aspect of oversharing. Oversharing literally has the power to shift that dynamic, the entire dynamic of your friendship. It can make people uncomfortable around you. It can make people feel like they need to be your therapist. And nobody wants to feel like they have to constantly be someone's therapist. Baby, I'm not getting paid for this. And I got my own problems. And now I'm burdened with your problems. Or I'm burdened with things that aren't problems in your opinion, but they appear to be problems in mine. You risk losing good friendships because they lose respect for you. They don't trust you. It gets to a point where they probably don't even trust you because they call you motor mouth behind your back because you talk too much. You tell your business way too much and you telling other people's business too. Stop. So that's the negatives. Those are the negatives of oversharing. But I want to get into you oversharing your dreams, your goals, the things that you want to work towards, the things that you want out of life. Let's talk about the problem with oversharing those things with people. And I've seen this become a reality for some people. This is something I've experienced for myself. When you start telling people your every move, every step of the way, when you're telling people your every move, you have created so much space for those people to put bad energy into the air surrounding your dreams and the things that you want for yourself. You have allowed them into a door that should have stayed closed because you don't know. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are to you. I don't care how much you trust them. I don't care how long they've been in your life. Anybody can secretly envy you. So there's things that you must keep to yourself in order for them to come to fruition. Not everybody, and some of your friends don't even want this for you, but not everybody wants the best for you, especially if they're not doing anything for themselves. They don't want the best for you. The best for you, it will make them look like they're not doing enough. And some people will envy you for those things. It's important for you to keep some of those goals to yourself until they actually happen, until you actually accomplish them. It's very important for you to keep some of those things to yourself. And also when you're saying too much about what you're going to do or what you are going to accomplish, you are not, let's just say that you don't know what's going to happen. You can't see the future. You know what you want to accomplish. You know what plan you have for yourself. You know, maybe even the plan that God has for you, but you don't know what you're going to encounter. You don't know what's going to happen in life that could possibly stop you from reaching that goal or accomplishing those things on that vision board. But now you've gone out and you've told everybody and their mother the goals that you have, the things that you want to do. The minute you don't accomplish those things, you have so many people talking down on you, talking bad about you. Now you look like you not a person of your word. It just creates too much space. Oversharing creates too much space for negative energy. It really does. It creates too much space for judgment. It creates too much space for added pressure. You probably can't even focus on the process anymore. You're too busy trying to jump past the process and actually get it done just so you can prove to people that you did what you said you were going to do. That's where you mess up. When you want to do something just to prove a point to other people. That's where you messed up. Instead of wanting to do it just for yourself. There's not a single soul out here that you owe an explanation to, that you need to prove anything to. If it's anybody that you need to prove something to, it's yourself. And it's always going to be yourself. Everybody's out here fighting for themselves. You shouldn't feel the need to tell people your business and tell people that you're going to do this, that, and a third. And then all of a sudden, you're not even focused on, you've missed the whole process. And let me tell you something. The process is the most important part of accomplishing anything. The things that you're going through along the way until you reach that accomplishment, until you actually do it. That process is the thing that matters the most. It's where you learn the most. It's where you grow the most. You develop new characteristics. You develop new traits. You develop a different type of strength in that process. But because you've already told these people a lot, whoever it is, because you've already overshared with them and told them this, that, and the third, now you want to skip the process because you feel pressure to actually do what you said you're going to do. You want to skip the most important part of the whole thing. That's the problem with oversharing. It creates too much room for negatives. Maybe you're one of those people that don't realize when they're oversharing, because sometimes it's almost like word vomit. When you're so excited about something or you're so anxious about something or a topic, you just start talking and talking and talking, and now you've said too much. There's a couple of things that you can do when going into certain conversations, or while in certain conversations, or before going into certain conversations. There's a couple of things that you can do to avoid oversharing, and this should save you. Oversharing is not just about like speaking with your friends or speaking with your family. It can also be about career. Maybe you don't want to say too much in a workplace. You don't want to say too much in an interview. You don't want to say too much and scare opportunities away or push opportunities away. So you want to be very careful about the things that you say and who you allow to know that information. So one of the things that you can do to avoid oversharing is just learning to pause before you speak. You ever heard the phrase like think before you speak? That will save you in so many situations. Oh my goodness. You have to be able to, I don't care how excited you are or how mad you are about a topic, or how, triggered you are about something. You have to have enough self-control to force yourself to stop before speaking on a certain topic, because you can speak from a place of emotions. And when those emotions, there's nothing like the control that emotions have over us in certain settings. You need to pause and be able to process what you are about to say or what you would like to say, and also process if it's too much in that time. What I'm about to say, is that too much? Like, am I going to scare someone away when I say this, or am I going to feel weird after I say this? Just like if you learn to pause before you speak, think before you speak, you will save yourself from oversharing a great deal. Another thing you should probably do, and this is just something that everybody should do, is just set personal boundaries. This is more of an internal type of thing. Like, set personal boundaries. Understand yourself and understand what you view as giving too much information. What is too much information to give out? What is TMI to you? And whatever that is to you, then that would be the boundary that you would refuse to cross when you're having conversation with anybody. Put those personal boundaries in place, because if not, you just out here like a little loose cannon, just dropping bombs on everybody and everything for no reason, causing so much havoc for no reason. So have some personal boundaries set for yourself and understand what TMI is to you. Another thing that's very important to do is you got to learn how to process your emotions first. And I like this topic because I've actually learned this as I've gotten older. I've learned that not everybody has to do this. I literally, like, if somebody make me mad or angry or, just upset me in some type of way, I have learned to just be quiet. And I think some of my friends and loved ones hate when I do this, but it saves my relationships with people. I have to literally I have to stop and process my emotions, and it might take a few minutes, it might take an hour, it might take a full day, it might take a couple of days, I don't know. But before I speak on something that has bothered me, it's very important for me to just pause and process my emotions first. Because if you have made me mad about something, like, you have to do a lot to really, really, really grind my gears and make me like mad, like angry. You know what I mean? It take a lot for that, because I'm just mostly like an outgoing, bubbly type of person. But once you have done that, the way I can literally slice people with my words, even if I don't mean them, it is insane. So I've learned to just stop for a minute and process what it is that I'm feeling, and process how I want to relay what I'm feeling before I do it. Like, I have to process it first. It's so important for you to process your emotions first, because if not, all hell can break loose so fast. Maybe you were supposed to have a simple conversation with your best friend about something that you just didn't agree with her on, or something that she's done, and the way that you like just reacted like a ticking bomb have forced you to lose an entire friendship that you genuinely care about. Like, you have to be very careful about the amount of control you allow your emotions to have, because your emotions can jack some stuff up. Another thing you need to do when you're having conversations with people is just stick to the things that's relevant when you're speaking. Let me think of an example. Like, if you are talking to one of your homegirls and you're talking about maybe your boyfriend or something like that, there should be no reason why you go off on a tangent and start telling all of y'all's business, like every single last thing that happens in your relationship, there should be no reason why you end up doing that with anybody. Stick to what's relevant. If you're talking about, maybe you need advice on how to handle, I don't know, a certain conversation that you plan to have with them, or whatever the case may be, like, stick to just that. Don't, oh yeah, I'm glad I talked to you about this because he did this, that. Like, certain things you should just shut your mouth on. Let it go. It is not their business. And you're going to cause people to look at the other people a certain type of way. And there's certain things like with relationships, this can be an entirely different topic, but like with relationships, you have to be careful what you share with your family and friends, because if your spouse makes you mad about something and you go and tell your family and friends are going to side with you first, right off the bat. Now they're pissed off at that person, but because you love this person differently, you'll forgive and forget. Your family and friends, they're not doing that. Now when you go into the family functions, everything's just weird. There's a tension in the air because they don't like the guy or respect the guy anymore because of you running your mouth too much. Stop. Stick to what's relevant and keep it moving. Another thing that people fail to do is read the room. Read the room. If you just watch people's actions, that will tell you all you need to know. You got to pay attention to those social cues. If you have said something that have made the person that you're talking to, if you've said something that have made them feel uncomfortable, you will see that on their face. You will see that in their movement. You will see them kind of like trying to create a distance, or you need to learn to read the room, babe. Certain things are just not, there's a time and a place for certain conversations, and you need to learn to adhere to that. It's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to mature and value your privacy, and value the things that you put out into the atmosphere. Value certain things, not certain things, but value the things that you hold very dear to your heart, and be careful on the type of energy you allow to enter certain rooms that you're in. You need to grow up. Maturing is realizing that your friends do not need to know all of your business. That's your business for a reason. Now, if they think you being fake, or I don't know, shady or sneaky, that's on them. That ain't your problem. That's theirs. They got some other stuff they need to deal with internally, but it ain't got nothing to do with you. Your business is not their business, and their business is not yours. You don't have to tell them everything. That's maturing. Maturing is realizing that protecting your privacy will help you succeed. They don't need to know your every move. They don't have to know your every move. If they don't know exactly what you're doing, there's no type of negative energy they can put out in the air against you. And it'd be the ones closest to you that would do that. Protect your privacy, babes. And maturing is also realizing that not everyone wants the best for you. So what if they're your friends? So what if they're your family? I don't care how close they are to you. Not everyone wants the best for you. And you have to be able to, you need to understand that. And the quicker you understand that, the better you'll be off. Keep stuff to yourself. There's certain, you can share, just don't overshare. You can be vulnerable. There's a positive and a negative. Vulnerability is being positive. Oversharing is the negative aspect. Once you conquer these things, all would be well. You won't feel any pressure. You can move how you need to move without feeling extra stress or anxiety. Just help yourself. I really do hope this helps, and I hope you realize how important it is for you to just stop oversharing so much. But until next time, we'll talk very soon. Take care.